Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This week's video is going to be very short, but there was just some very interesting information that came out over the weekend from a Korean fan fest regarding Final Fantasy XIV, and I just wanted to pass it on, share it with you. I will link the translated Reddit thread down below, so that way if you want to just look over it at your own speed, you don't have to listen to my voice or anything like that. You can look through some of the different Q&A questions that were asked and some of the answers that they'll be going over. That will be linked down below so you can look at it at your own speed. But the two big things that I wanted to bring up, as these potentially could be talked about in the live letter on Friday, that is February the 18th, is that they are working on a update to squadrons, and there is a deep dungeon that is coming in the 6.x patch series. So really quickly, I wanted to talk about the squadrons and maybe how they might deal with that, and then we can talk about the deep dungeons afterward. So first off, let's talk about the squadron update, or the slash potential trust update that is mentioned in this fan fest. So as of right now, squadrons are a pretty old system from Realm Reborn and Heaven's Word a little bit, but they never really expanded upon it past that. And that pretty much covers about the 1 to 50-ish range. And then trusts, with all of the new technology and the scripting and stuff that they've built for it, have been a Shadowbringers and Endwalker edition, and so that has been in the 70 plus area, but in that weird in between of 50 to 70 there isn't really anything that is like either one of those systems. So players are kind of forced to go out and do things with different people, which for an MMO is not always that bad of a thing, but some people don't want to do that, so this kind of an update would be huge. In the actual translation, it says that they intentionally stopped updating the squadrons, and they did that because they wanted to work on Endwalker trusts, but all of this entails a larger update that is coming, and that Yoshi P wishes that we wait just a little longer to hear about it. If that means that we are going to hear about it on Friday with the next 10 years of Final Fantasy coming up, I do not know. This could be something that, with that much information, is it might be split up over a couple of different live letters. So if we don't hear about it on this upcoming Friday, it might be in one further down the line. But I think a lot of people would be very happy to see something like the trust system brought backwards, or maybe get rid of squadrons completely and kind of start it over and stuff, because things like the main scenario roulette, Cape West Winds, and all of these things in A Realm Reborn are very not friendly to people who are trying to go through for the first time and are looking to enjoy the experience. As of right now, as veteran players, when you're running these things, your incentive is to just completely plow through it as quickly as possible. You basically lock people in cutscenes if they actually are wanting to watch these things, because by the time that you're able to kill one boss, we are so overpowered at this point and have done this content so much that by the time that one cutscene is over, you get to walk a couple steps and then there's another one. So I think that a lot of that kind of stuff is going to have to be reworked, and I think that that's why it's part of a larger system update, because I don't think that it's something that they can, oh hey, we're going to flip a light switch and now trusts and squadrons work, everything pre-70. I think that this is going to be a huge overhaul in terms of like the duty roulette. It's going to change early leveling. There's going to be a lot of work involved. So this is probably something that's going to take quite a bit of time, but it's very exciting for people who are just getting into the game and are wanting to experience all these big story moments, that this is finally getting some attention, and it's something that really has been needed for quite a while. Now, for the next section, we don't have as much information, so this is going to be relatively short, but Yoshi P confirmed that due to hearing so many people around the world asking for it, that they are going to be implementing a deep dungeon system in the 6.x patch series. So we have known, it's been kind of implied that this was going to be happening across different interviews and stuff like that that have been happening over the past couple of months. People have been asking for it for a long time. They really loved it, and it was noticeably absent in Shadowbringers. You know, Yoshi and the team were very surprised that people loved it so much, and so you know, this isn't that big of a surprise, but it is nice to be able to get that kind of a confirmation that it is coming. I am very curious as to where it might be. They could do maybe something like on the moon, you know, like tunneling down, or maybe something in like Radz-at-Han or something. It's going to be very interesting to see what they decide to do, but I'm excited. I never really got into Palace of the Dead or Heaven on High so much. Those were coming out at times where I wasn't really interested in doing a whole lot of like that kind of solo content or just that style of content in general. But as time has gone on, I've opened up and have been more interested into the different facets of Final Fantasy. And I'm excited. I think it'll be super, super awesome. And I know that there are a lot of people who have been really looking forward to it. And, you know, Final Fantasy has so much content coming and a lot of fun things to do. So I'm glad that for these people, they have that little bit of hope and, you know, like hype that they can get behind to know that, you know, one of their favorite systems is going to be coming back. But, you know, these are just a couple of the things that were in this Fanfest. I'm not going to go over all of it because a lot of it is not super interesting, or, you know, are questions that have been asked a million times and we kind of have already gotten the answers to. But like I said, I'm going to link the thread below so that way you can look over all the different questions. And, you know, as of right now, we're kind of just waiting until the live letter. I will probably, I'm hoping that I will be able to do a little like quickly weekly recap for Final Fantasy news every Monday or Tuesday. It just kind of depends on my work schedule, as I'm obviously kind of doing this as just a little hobby. So, you know, after this live letter, I will try to get a video out on Monday or Tuesday, just quickly going over all the different things that was talked about. But, you know, thank you for listening, and I really appreciate you stopping by. I hope you have a great one.